Here's Morning Blow. Remember how Morning Blow said that Biden was fit and in shape and that this was the best Joe Biden ever? Now he can talk about his age. He got the orders. Joe, follow these orders now. You and Mika will do so. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Age becomes an issue now because he's 20 years older? I think
he's now officially, now that Joe Biden is out of the race, he's now the oldest major party nominee in the history of the country. And as we've all pointed out, has shown many signs of mental slippage. And, you would think at this
bull crap, we have called it out. Not you, the people, independent media. Everybody has. Now, to be fair to corporate media, you guys did bring it up in 2019, early 2020, until you got the memo from the corporate owners telling you what the script will be because nobody wanted Bernie Sanders as the nominee, even though Bernie Sanders was a cuck and was going to obey the Democratic Party no matter what, because Bernie Sanders does not have the heart to be a fighter. But now notice, corporate media has the A-OK to now start talking about Biden's age and his decline. What have we been seeing throughout his entire presidency, his 3.5 years in office? Oh, Biden's in shape. He's fit. Oh, he's truly presidential. He knows what he's talking about. No! See, the mask is coming off. And yet, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube deem MSNBC and CNN as authoritative sources.
Point with Joe Biden out of the race, we could all now focus on clearly and cleanly on another elderly gentleman who may be not fit for the job. If the standards apply to Joe Biden are now to apply to Donald Trump,
he's 20 years older than her. He's 20 years older.
Yes, he's 20. So
almost 20. Yeah,
almost 20 years older, and that's I think one of the reasons why Republicans are melting down because suddenly.
No, Republicans aren't melting down. No, Republicans are unified and excited. Were you not paying attention to the convention? Look, I wasn't impressed with Trump's speech at the end, but you want to know what the big takeaway was at that entire convention? They are energized, they're mobilized, and they're ready to fight. They got their nominee, as we said at the beginning process of this nomination process, especially for the Republican primary, that the Republican voters wanted Trump. They're excited. And Prim 54, the Everybody Knew press tour. Everybody knew apparently. Right, Morning Blow?
He's the old guy in the race by a long shot.
Doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. But then again, too, Morning Blow. Joe Scarborough suggests bring back, God help us all, Rahm Emanuel, disgraced former mayor of Chicago, who covered up the Laquan McDonald murder by Chicago police to help Vice President Kamala Harris. Reverend Al Sharpton agrees. What the hell? I hope we don't see Rahm Emanuel. God save us if we actually have Rahm Emanuel. Listen, people, Democratic voters, he was our mayor. He was a piss poor mayor of this city. So many things went wrong under his watch. And since then, we are still recovering from his epic failure of being our city's mayor. If you know what, whatever, Democrats, if you can't learn through the ears, you're going to learn through the skin, right?
And you're going from off-Broadway to Broadway the second you're running for president of the United States. And you need Jen O'Malley Dillon, David Plouffe. If you need somebody to stand up on a table and scream at the top of their lungs, maybe you get Rahm back from Japan. You need everybody here for this 3-month run.
That is no doubt about it.
Oh, my God. Reverend Al Sharpton, who made his career off the civil rights movement, latching on to others. Yeah, that's the real truth of it. I think RBN brought it up the best. Look at those that are still alive right now. Why are they still alive? Because all the great legends of the civil rights movement deceased, gone. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about the environment we're in? The Everybody Knew press tour. Hey, give it up for Rachel Maddow. Maddow, tell us what's going on. How are you feeling?
In an instant, the old era is over and the new era is here. It is go time. Joe Biden defeated Donald Trump in 2020 in an election in which Trump refused to accept the result and tried to stay in power by the use of violent force. Trump has since been convicted of 34 felonies and is awaiting sentencing on those charges. He's facing up to 4 years in prison. He has been found liable for committing sexual assault. He owes literally hundreds of millions of dollars in civil penalties for massive fraud at his business. His business has been found criminally guilty of business fraud, and he owes hundreds of millions of dollars in a civil fraud case.
That doesn't matter. That any other politician would be embarrassed. Do you have any idea how this mugshot and everything else that the Democrats have been throwing at Trump have been helping him? He's going to be the nominee, and I'm willing to bet that not nominee. He's going to win the election. He's going to win the election. Secretly, Rachel Maddow is probably like, once the cameras are off and she's in her office, she quickly goes on her knees and starts praying and saying, please, please let Trump win the election. It'll be my bread and butter for 4 years. Trump will be the biggest job producer in the social justice warrior industrial complex, okay? All these media outlets have been going broke. I mean, they need that venture. I mean, vulture. They need that venture. I mean, vulture capitalist money to make their sinking magazines, online outlets stay relevant. See, Democrats need Trump. Liberals need Trump. They need their bad guy.
He is the subject of a felony RICO indictment in the state of Georgia. He is also facing federal criminal charges. He is now 78 years old and gives speeches of such rambling incoherence that even his most ardent superfans start wandering off or checking their phones by the time he starts talking about sharks and shower heads and how beautiful you would think he looks if he were to take his clothes off. He just picked a 39-year-old running mate who most Americans do not know and who has basically no record in public service. As people are Googling.
Wait a minute. Hold up. What about Kamala's record? I mean, come on. She doesn't know what she was doing either. And she got supported when she went down. Okay? So in other words, this is Rachel Maddow's petty attempt to try and cope.
Donald Trump's new unknown running mate, the first thing most of them are learning about him is that he is deeply committed to a nationwide ban on abortion. Nationwide. He is the protege of an eccentric right-wing tech billionaire who is against women having the right to vote and who says he's against democracy. The right-wing groups that have championed this guy for Trump's running mate are the authors of the Project 2025 policy blueprint you have heard so much about. The policy blueprint for what the Republicans plan to do if they do succeed in getting Trump and now Vance back into the White House. A national abortion ban is just the start. Try crack.
Gee. Quick reminder. Roe v. Wade. Whose administration did that die under? Trump or Biden? And before anyone starts complaining about, but the Supreme Court justices, the Democrats had a chance to actually push in their own liberal judges if they wanted to. Obama could have got Ruth Bader Ginsburg to resign. But that smug, arrogant punk was hoping that Hillary Clinton was going to be the winner. And it turns out that blew up in her face. And she was already in a precarious spot because she had health issues. Trump also had a liberal nominee for a replacement judge. But that happened to be, put on the burner. It was ignored. That was it. So Roe v. Wade, it dies under Biden. And yet liberals were quick to blame Trump. And you had people like AOC put on a whole show, a song and dance, getting fake arrested. I remember a lot of these pink pussy hat people saying they'd be protesting in the streets for days on end if something happened to Roe v. Wade. Where are you at? Roe v. Wade died under the Democrats, and the Democrats then decided to fundraise off of it. They could have codified it. They could have made it the law, but they chose not to because it was more important for them to do fundraising.